Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. Wow, I cannot believe we are just getting back from the weekend. So I want to talk to you about how to get out of your own way while working with a mentor. So when I look at my audience of clients and I look at there's group A who does everything that all the coaching that I give them, all the mentorship that I give them, they take the information and they skyrocket. They create extraordinary results like Sasha Sterling, $350,000 in debt to $400,000 in revenue in literally the first half of the year. Amy Yamada going from debt to not knowing what she's doing to bootstrapping her business to being able to create hundreds of thousands of dollars while she still figures out what is my messaging and what do I do for a living. There's a series of proof of a group of people who know how to use a mentor and get skyrocketing, life-changing results. And then you have group B, which is a group of people who do some of the mentorship. They take some of the guidance and the advice, and they get okay results. They're happy, they get okay results, but they're still beating themselves up behind closed doors because they aren't getting the results that they really want. And then you have the final group, which is group C. And group C is like, oh, why can't I make this work? Like, I am confused. I am frustrated. I can't get myself to do anything that my mentor is telling me to do. Like, I just am blocked. And so I'm going to talk about some different things on Coffee with Shanda this morning around this topic about how do you get out of your own way? How do you rock it out with a mentor? Because at the end of the day, if you look at success and you look at the most successful people, you will see that they had somebody important in their life that mentored them to succeed. And in fact, if you look at the time frame of people who make it to the top, the people who are at the very top had somebody influencing them as their mentor to succeed. So I'm a huge believer in this. I have mentors for my spirituality. I have mentors for my fitness. I have mentors for my business. I have mentors for my parenting. Like, I have mentors everywhere, because instead of banging your head against the wall wondering if this thing is ever going to work, there's always someone who's paved the path before you. So good morning, you guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Julie Surratt. Good morning, Susanna. Awesome, you guys. Good morning, Alora. Hello, Margaret. Michelle Lee over on Instagram. Hey, you guys. How you doing? Awesome. Okay, so let's have an incredible morning. I would love to know, this is my Coffee with Shanda, but I'm not drinking coffee. I'm drinking lemon water this morning. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, I'm going to go through how to get out of your own way with a mentor, but I'm going to ask you, what is your struggle with a mentor? Like, go ahead in the comment section, tell me where you get stopped as a mentor. And after I go through 3 points, there's about 10 points you need to know, but 3 of the most important points that I believe for you to be able to get out of your own way with a mentor. I'm going to go over that now, but I want to hear from you because I love to answer some questions after I am done speaking. So go in the comment section right now and tell me, where is your biggest challenge working with a mentor to get out of your own way? Just post that in the comment section right now. Awesome. Okay. Sharina, you're drinking lemon water too. Oh, thanks, you guys. Looking emotionally gorgeous this AM. I like that. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you for posting. Okay, so first and foremost, this is something just so outside the box that I don't know if many mentors would share with you, but if you get physically active, you will actually change the way that you think. Your stress level will go down. You'll be able to receive the information that your mentor gives you to be able to apply it much faster. So hear me here. A lot of people will say to me, well, I go to the gym or I go to kickboxing class. I'm talking about endurance. So now the first thing that often comes up in people's heads is they go, I don't like endurance. Well, I get it. I never liked endurance either. When I first got hold of this concept, I pretty much ran 3 miles maybe twice a year. I love kickboxing classes. I love spin classes. My weight went like this. And my results went like this in my life. It was a roller coaster. I was a great starter and I was a really poor finisher. And so when I understood this concept and I started researching it, I started asking many of my clients to get into endurance sports, to start doing half marathons, to start doing marathons. Now we do some crazy stuff, like we do these endurance challenges, which is a mixture of a lot of different adventure inside of our coaching programs. And here's why. If you get physically active, you will find that your ambition will raise. Why is that important to you? Well, you know when you just don't feel like working? You know when you're like having a bad, not week, but few months, where you're like, why can I not get out of my own way? Well, when you physically get active in an endurance challenge, what happens is that through the endurance and growing a business or growing your life is an endurance race. It's not like something that's over like that. So when you get physically active, the way you face yourself, it's you against you on the road. And the way that you face yourself is actually the way that you face every challenge in your life. And so when you get physically active and you can physically change your relationship with your results, you will find that you will physically change your relationships with all the rest of the goals in your life. So obviously I teach business, and in business, I can tell you that my endurance athletes get better results quicker than my non-endurance athletes. It just is. I mean, I've seen it a million times. I had a client that I couldn't break past $5,000 a month. I mean, I tried everything. I told her that I wouldn't show up to mentor her. I told her that she would pay me and I wouldn't show up to mentor her. We got really like aggressive with her. I mean, my point is that I can't talk you to success faster than I can run you to success. So if you would be willing to get uncomfortable, so if you do endurance right now, but you do endurance like, okay, I got this. Yep, that was another workout. That was another run. That was another whatever. Then you are actually in your comfort zone and you have to push your endurance much further. It needs to scare you, right? Like you need to think like, holy cow, like I can't do that. Like this week, we're actually going to Jesse Itzler's house. He wrote the book Living with a Seal. Sarah Blakely, who owns Spanx, it's her husband. I'm taking just over 30, 35 entrepreneurs to their house in Connecticut, and we're doing a hill challenge where we're going up and down a hill 200 times. It'll take about 2.5, 3 hours to do. Everybody's scared. I mean, it sounds like it'd be easy, but everybody's scared. For the last 90 days, we have been working through endurance alongside of building our businesses to get those type of results. Now, I will tell you, the person who right now says, I don't want to do that, you are going to leave money on the table with your mentor. It's the whole point. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to go out and do that. Even though it does become a lifestyle and your body starts to ask for it and beg for it and your mind starts to ask for it and beg for it, if you already said you don't want to do that, or you think, and this is going to go into my second point, you think that doesn't make sense and that's not going to get you ahead in life, then you've already lost the game of working with a mentor. You see, you've got to do everything that a mentor tells you. You have to do everything that a mentor tells you to be able to succeed, not part of it. So I have like 700 clients right now. I have 30-something in endurance. And you sit there and you go, why wouldn't every single one of my clients raise their hand to go in endurance? I'll tell you what, they've already talked themselves out of success. And so even if they have different levels of success, they won't see their peak performance of what they can actually do because they're still holding back. So this goes into my second point. You have to be flexible in your mind, and you have to run towards hesitation. You have to run towards hesitation. So, for instance, if you're going to get out of your own way with a mentor, you have got to understand this. I just gave everybody some coaching about getting physically active. Now, how many of you hesitate immediately because you don't want to, right? You have to run towards that hesitation, and you have to become more flexible in your head to be able to actually take the coaching, right? So again, I've got a group of clients who do everything I tell them to do, and they become millionaires. People who didn't even know what they were going to do when they grew up become millionaires, right? They never ever had a dream to become a millionaire, and they become millionaires. Some of them become $500,000 a year, $300,000 a year, working part-time, living at home, working from home, right? With their babies, right? Like, why does that happen? You got to become flexible in your mind, which means that half of the mentorship that you ever get, you don't believe that you can actually do it. Right? Like, you're no different than me. Every mentor that's come up with something new for me to do to get to a vision or a dream that I want, first of all, if your vision doesn't scare the heck out of you, truthfully, you're still living in your comfort zone, which means you need to go back to my point number one and get physically active, right? So you're not going to believe that you can actually do it. And so you have to become flexible in your mind, because it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter how you feel. What matters is what you're committed to, right? So if you can get flexible in your mind and you can just take the mentorship, you can take the coaching, and you can run towards hesitation, you will win. You will win. You guys, this isn't even that hard, but will you do it, right? The people who will do it will win. You will hit extraordinary results very quickly, right? How do you take somebody that is on food stamps, right? We had a client on food stamps. Her father was supplementing her income, and she obviously didn't know what she was going to do. Her life wasn't exactly working at that point. And how does in 10 months a woman like that make 6 figures? Working from home, not going to an office, right? I'll tell you, that's about getting flexible in your mind and running towards hesitation. However, that person, just like you, will hit a wall. Eventually, you will hit a wall, and that wall will be in your comfort zone of what you want to do. I see this all the time. People get a little bit of success, and then what they want to do is they want to just coast there, and it doesn't work like that, right? You've got to keep growing in order to not be dying, right? If you don't want to lose, you hear this all the time. People win the lottery and then they lose it, or people get some levels of success, or maybe, have you ever experienced this? You get a spike in money and then it goes down, a spike in money and then it goes down, a spike in your relationship is amazing, and then all of a sudden your relationship isn't so amazing. Are you tired of that inconsistency? Well, you have to be growing to avoid inconsistency. You have to be focusing towards something that's having you grow to avoid that inconsistency. So when you get confused, when you get stuck, when you sit there and go, oh, I don't know what to do next. Like, how do I start a business? You know, I walked into the news to do an interview on the news here in San Diego. And when I walked in, everybody had gotten laid off. And why that's important is because I kept being pulled aside and asked for some coaching. They were asking me for some mentorship, and I was giving them advice saying, wow, you're a reporter, or wow, you've been on TV all this long. Like, yeah, all you have to do is 1, 2, 3, and you could have a business up inside of 90 days. And the first question, wow, do you really think I could do that? Do you really think people would pay me for that? And I'm like, that's the flexibility in the mind. So that's the first thing that every single person thinks about themselves when they're given a plan that's outside their comfort zone. So get really flexible in your mind, which allows you to take all the coaching. Don't question the coaching, right? Don't question the mentorship. Run towards hesitation and forget about how you feel, because how you feel has nothing to do with success. It's actually, what are you committed to? Okay, the third thing that you need to understand is, and I talked about this in depth on a past Coffee with Shanda, and that is a positive focus. So why is a positive focus important? Well, first of all, we're hardwired to protect ourselves. We're hardwired. I mean, survival is something that we have been taught since we were little children. On the schoolyard, when the bullies were out, you had to protect yourself and survive. Your brain is hardwired to survive. That's why you can't trust your gut instincts when it comes to stretching outside your comfort zone, because you are automatically programmed to stay safe and stay where you're at. But that doesn't create extraordinary results. So now let me make a point here. If you have a gut check that you're unsafe walking down a street, trust that. If you have a gut instinct that you're afraid when you're building something extraordinary, don't trust that. Because you should feel afraid, right? You should feel afraid. So your brain is hardwired to look for the problem and to keep yourself successful, or to keep yourself safe, not successful. To get yourself successful, you actually have to look for the positive focus in everything you do. So where do you get frustrated in your life? What, do you have somebody at work right now, or somebody that works for you, or somebody in your household, even a family member that drives you crazy? Well, that's a great person to practice with, because wherever you've got the biggest hesitation on who you don't want to deal with, run towards that and then practice positive focus, which is like, what is it about this person that is great? What is it? And I know that this is not just positive affirmations. This is about rewiring your brain to look for the solution. You'll never find solutions. The people who make the most amount of money are the people who are the best problem solvers. The more problems you can solve in your life, in your business, the more success, the more money, the more freedom you will access. So you absolutely have to forget about this being a positive thing. You actually have to use this as a strategy. So there was someone in my company that blew $70,000 in my company in the first quarter of the year. I literally remember I was at a coffee shop with my nanny and my son in the back seat, and I got the message, and I literally went, shit. And my 2-year-old went, shit. And I went, like copying everything I do. That's a reminder that your children are becoming you. So if there's any reason to listen to my coaching right now, know that the next generation is watching us. But that was about the extent of my anger. Is, oh shit. Like 70,000, now don't get me wrong, like $70,000 is a ton of money. It doesn't matter how much money my company makes. It's a ton of money, right? And that was the equivalent. And I started laughing when my son repeated me, and I went into the coffee shop and got my coffee. And then by the time I was out of line to get my coffee, I had already come up with 3 different solutions to handle that $70,000. And I'm happy to tell you that I've gotten 30,000 of that back. The other percentage, I've actually created systems and processes inside my company that never allow something like that to happen. So thank God it happened. Here's a positive focus. Thank God that happened at, $5 million a year. We'll do $7 million this year. Thank God that happened at that price point, in that revenue generating area, and not $50 million a year. Could you imagine how devastating that could have been to hardcore business if it happened at 50 million? It would be a lot. It would be huge, because I could have multiple different areas inside my company that I had no idea, because I didn't have the experience to be able to, get on top of. So it could have been devastating. So my point is in every breakdown, there's a way for you to look for a positive focus. That will help you get unstuck much quicker and be on the path to emotional, financial, and time freedom that I know that you want. Okay, so I'm going to take some questions, and if you've got an area that you are just absolutely cannot figure out, how do I get out of my own way with my mentor so that I can get the best return on investment possible and get the results that I want? And you want to be a 1%er. You want to be someone who gets the best results, and your mentor knows your name, right? Like knows your name, knows everything about you, thinks about you when you're not around them. That is because you're showing up. And if you follow the 3 steps I just gave you, you'll be much, much further ahead than if you continue to run into patterns that have you lose in life. Okay, Alora, I'm still definitely in my comfort zone, and I know endurance. I know endurance business will help me grow my business. Yes, endurance racing. Yes, it will. Tiffany Mercer, there's a flip that happens in your mind when you push yourself physically. It's that flip that we need. Yes, that's right. And you also have to ask yourself, you can watch yourself in endurance when, like if you live in a rainy climate, like I used to live in Vancouver, Canada, and I would go out to run and it'd be pouring rain and be like, you know what, maybe I'll just go to the gym. Well, that is you trying to actually work within your comfort zone. Or maybe I'll put this off and do this later. Well, that's a signal that that's what you do, right? The way you do one thing is the way you do anything. So do you keep putting things off till a sunnier day, a better moment? Well, guess what? Money loves speed. Money loves speed. That's why if you're trying to get it perfect, you're trying to get it right, to be successful in anything in life, it doesn't work that way, right? It's like making love to your husband or your wife. It's not like the perfect moment. When you feel it, you got to go after it, right? No matter what's going on. Money loves speed, right? It doesn't love perfection. It loves speed. So that means that you've got to use the things I shared with you today and not manage it on how you want to do that. You got to just let it all go. Don't worry about making it perfect. In fact, if you don't have time for a good endurance run today, go out and do as much as you can. If you can't run, walk, run, walk, run, walk, run, walk, run. You'll get better. As you get stronger physically, you'll get stronger up here. I promise you that. I like the message you've been giving to go after what you're hesitating. Yes, go after exactly what you're hesitating. I'm doing it. I'm walking every day, 2 miles. Woohoo! Working up to running. Awesome, Joanna. Okay, do you guys have any questions for me? Lots of comments, like 121 comments already this morning. I can't keep the momentum and I can't keep up the momentum. Joanna, I'm reading yours. I can't keep up the momentum. I have high aspirations, but not always follow through. I think I'm trying to do it too perfect and get stuck. So Joanna, again, so first of all, if you just take the piece of running after your hesitation. Now, this can't just be in your business, right? This has to be everywhere, right? So when I was learning this with myself, here's like a hack. When I was learning this with myself, I made a declaration, and for 90 days, and on a past Coffee with Shanda, I gave a 30-day challenge. But for 90 days, I made a declaration for myself that I did absolutely everything I noticed that I hesitated on. And not only was I an extraordinary mentor during those 90 days, because when you're living that way, the advice that you give, the leadership that you give is over the top. You know the difference between somebody just talking words at you and somebody who embodies what you want, right? So if you run towards hesitation, not only will you see miracles in your life, and I'm not kidding you, because you are so used to having the results in your life that are based on the way that you think, right? And by default, we do everything in our life that we feel, put it this way, we stretch and we risk in the areas that we feel okay risking in. Even if it's scary, like if you're someone who isn't afraid to invest financially, you've kind of had that in your system for a while, right? But maybe you have a challenge in finishing strong, right? You start a lot of things, but you don't finish strong. So when you go after everything you hesitate, you'll start to finish strong, right? You'll start to not say things like, I always stop because I'm trying to get things perfect. You'll stop all of that just by default by putting your focus on what I'm hesitating, I will do. And then what will happen is you'll have a whole new level of results in your life because you've never seen those results before, because you've never shown up like that before, right? So it completely transforms everything. I hear my little 2-year-old getting up right now. So I'm going to end right there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. I will see you tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I will actually have the owners of Graced by Grit. They had a vision to create a clothing line a few years ago, and they are growing their clothing line by 45% in an economy that is not exactly booming. They have a brick and mortar business. They also do email marketing. They also do online marketing. How are they doing it? How did they take a vision of starting a clothing line to... Did you hear that? Come here, Zachy. Come here. Come say hi. Come here. I'll give you a banana. Do you guys want to say good morning to my sweet little son? This is the power of being a woman entrepreneur. Okay, come say hi. Okay, come say hi. Come say hi. No. Yes, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. No. Say hi. No. Can I have a kiss then? Can I have a kiss? No, a kiss on the lips. Hi. A kiss on the lips. I'm just kidding. You gave me one already. You already gave me one. You already gave me one. Okay, okay. But now my son's making out with me. Love this little guy. And hi. You say hi? Hi. Are you going to say you have a good day? A good day. Yeah. So this is Zach, and he's the reason why I do everything. And for you moms who think that you have to give up running a business or give up your goals because you have a little son, okay, I'll give you a banana. Here, do you want some hot water and lemon? No. You don't have to give up your dreams because you have little kids. Okay, let me give you two choices. You wait for one moment and I'll give you a banana. Okay, duty calls. You never have to give up your dreams for your kids. In fact, don't teach them that. Teach them how to go after your visions and your dreams so that they go after their visions and their dreams, right? We didn't get married and have kids to hold back. We got married and have kids to be able to show them how to live an extraordinary life. So God bless you guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Good morning, honey.
All right, good morning.